Now, Chef, are we going to start with yours or mine? Because we have to pop it into the oven.
Let's do yours first.
We'll do mine. All right, guys. Now, as I mentioned it before, bread is what is the main ingredient
of
this.
the smell of fresh bread.
I know, right? Now, me not me a buffalo, okay? You can use any sort of bread, brown bread, you know, baguette bread. Hata ile mkate imeka kwenye, you know, fridge na it's a bit stale.
Stale bread
that's
is
even
better.
Yeah. So when you have bread that imeka and you don't know what to do with it, you can't have it for breakfast, this is a recipe for you. All right, Chef, so I'm just going to ask you, I'm going to open these up, right? Okay. Because now my secret to bread pudding is ensuring that you have layers of some goodness in there, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to just apply some knobs of butter on that.
Okay,
yeah?
You have some knives for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, perfect. Apply some knobs of butter on your bread. Now, this part is optional, but I usually prefer it because there's a way the butter soaks into the pudding that is just absolutely delicious. All right, now we have some milk there. And what I'm going to do is add some sugar. So now I love my bread pudding sweet. So you can add a 1/4 cup, but I'm going to add 1/2 cup of 500 ml milk to that. I'm going to add sugar to that milk and then just whisk that up a little bit, right? And then at this point is we have some free-range eggs. My friends.
Hawezi kosa.
And what I'm going to do is, of course, guys, you know that you would need to break that out of, don't break it directly because sometimes maize has meoza, you know, and you want to just make sure that it's not spoiled. So you're going to drop that into that. I'm going to add 4 eggs to this. Now, the main component of this is the eggs because it cooks in the bread, right? So you want to add as many eggs depending on how big your bowl is. But for me today, I'm just using 4, right?
Yeah, because the butter is a bit...
It's a bit hard, it's a bit hard, so that's absolutely fine. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just finish off on the last egg. And now, Chef, I don't know, we have had so many people walk up to us. I think I just love to, you know, give a big shout out to Anita and her kids. Anita is a musician who's in a band who we're going to have her soon. Okay. And she just said, how she loves the show with her children and they watch it all the time. Nice. Thank you so much, Anita, for tuning in. And for all of you who message us saying how much they enjoy the show, we absolutely appreciate you. All right, now on goes the butter. All right, and then I'm just going to give this a whisk just to make sure that it's incorporated with the egg, and then I'm going to get some vanilla essence. Chef, maybe you can go on. Oh, you're going to, okay. I'll get that, don't worry. So we're going to get some vanilla essence from the fridge. And then what we're going to do is add literally a teaspoon because vanilla essence can be very, very strong. Yeah. So just a teaspoon goes into that. And that adds the essence, you know, the vanilla flavor in there. Now, kama una vanilla essence, pia ni sawa. It doesn't have to have vanilla essence, but I just like to incorporate it in there, right? All right, so what we're going to do, that's absolutely perfect, is close this up. You remember the last time I put jam and I layered it? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some raisins. Nice. So some raisins on there because when you cut that through, it's going to have this perfect texture. It adds a chew to it. And what the raisins also do is soak up this custard. This is a custard base. For those who've been tuning in. Yes. So for those who've been tuning in, we have made a custard on the show before. Now, it's basically like this, but then tunaipika. And you can be able to catch up on every single recipe that's on Ebru TV Hot Plate. You see just the step by step of how we made that custard. All right, so in goes the raisins, right, Chef? Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you to kindly chop up some strawberries for me. Nakupa kazi lakini usijali. All right, so we're going to chop up just a few strawberries, just some slices, and we're going to add some strawberries in there as well. Oh, nice. Right? Now, the fun thing about bread pudding is I think that's perfect. Chef has gone crazy with the raisins. You want enough raisins in there, right? All right. Now we're gonna just chop up some strawberries. Clean your strawberries and then chop it. I can actually help you. Chop up some strawberries and place that right into the little slices of bread that we have here. I know this looks like a sandwich, guys, but it really isn't. It's going to come out completely different from, you know, from what you're used to. All right, so spread those strawberries. You can go absolutely crazy with the strawberries. It's up to you. But you don't want to also overpower the dessert with your strawberries.
So si mingi sana.
Si mingi sana, utaki kuweka mingi sana. You just want to have a little bit of everything. Okay. All right? Now, as Chef chops that, I think I'll just spread those out. Actually, that's perfect, Chef. Thank you so much. So you have just a crunch of the strawberries, you know. And the reason I didn't want to put so much juu tunazifunika, right? All right, and plus we still have some more bread which you've not buttered. However, what I'll do, I'll take some of these slices that have the condiment and cover it up. So I've covered it up with another slice, which is just plain. And what you want to do, Chef, maybe you can butter this for me and fill it. What you want to do is you just want to lightly dip it in your custard. So you don't want to over dip it. No. This time I'm not pouring. Okay. So the secret is to making sure you have a perfect bread pudding is just soaking that lightly in there and then just line up your tray.
That's
right?
different.
It's different, exactly. And what this does is because unajua kuna wakati mwingine you just put your egg, when you pour it, it doesn't soak up in the bread. So you just have bits of chunks of custard, which is a bit runny, that people don't like.
Kweli.
Yeah?
So like, will you first like dip it inside, alafu custard inabaki utaweka juu?
Exactly. So we're going to dip this, soak our bread completely in that custard, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover another one, because we're going to need to cut it and fill in your tray. So depending on how big your tray is, you can just, you know, go crazy with the bread. But what I want to do is first fill the down part. So don't layer it on the top first. And don't worry about how it looks. Honestly, when it comes out from the oven, it is going to be a completely transformed dish. All right, so I'm soaking up the rest of my bread there in that custard base. And I'm going to ask for just half of another one. I think we're going to need more bread.
Yes, Tatosha?
No, as Tatosha, Junini, because we have to fill the bottom and then fill the top. You see, we've done 3. So maybe we can get... I gave Chef a lot of work here, and you should see me sitting pretty when it's his turn to cook. I'm just like, oh, so tell us more, Chef. What else are we doing? All right, so what we're going to do is finish off this. Now, this is where the fun bit comes. The absolute twist to, this is where actually a friend of mine made this, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try that. All right, so we have a dark chocolate here, cooking chocolate, and we have white chocolate. And what I'm gonna do is basically come with my grater, the fat side, and I'm gonna grate each chocolate. So we're gonna have white chocolate and dark chocolate, just to make it fun. And I'll show you what we're gonna do with it as Chef continues to prepare the rest of that bread. Now, ukishona mkate usijali, what you can do is use one slice. It will also work. So I'm just gonna finish with this grate. I'm gonna grab some of my white chocolate as well and just give that a lovely, lovely grate. Ensure that we've got all that goodness. I love the color as well. Look at that, it's so nice. Chocolate is always just so beautiful. All right, so I'm just, Chef, am I on your way? Sorry.
Maliza.
All right, so I'm going to finish grating this, and then with this chocolate, what we're going to do, and what I'll do is also cut some chunks. I just want to make sure that it melts properly. I feel like I do not want to grate it anymore. I'm going to cut some chunks. I'm going to come here, pour the chocolate right on that mixture. I know, right? I know, right? All right, and then we're going to pour the rest of it right on top. So what this does is you're going to cut through your pudding, and then you have a layer of chocolate, and then you have a layer of strawberries. It's just going to be absolutely beautiful. Okay. All right, Chef, maybe you can go ahead with that. Do you want to start with yours, or we just finish this?
Let's finish this.
Yeah?
I think itakuwa
chop,
chop, chop, 1, 2, 3.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more strawberries right on that chocolate. Right on top, and you want to make sure that it doesn't fall off the bread because chocolate tends to burn. Let me add a little bit more of the white chocolate. I love white chocolate. And what I'm going to do with this is actually just chunks. I'm going to do nice big chunks of, oh, why are you running away from me? Hapana za chini. The reason as to why you want to put it in the center, juu chocolate you uchomeka haraka. So you don't want to burn your chocolate, right? You just want to make sure that it cooks, melts out in between that lovely, lovely layer of pudding. And I'm going to put the chunks right on there. Look at that. Look at that. So this is going to be totally sweet. Now, the reason you need to reduce the sugar that you put in your custard is because of the chocolate and the strawberries and the raisins add the sweetness. So you can even completely choose to eliminate the sugar in your custard, right? All right, chef, let's finish up with these ones. Thank you. Let me clean this
soup.
up. So remember, guys, dip it into your custard pudding. Just dip it, make sure it soaks up all that goodness, and then just now place it right on top. Right, guys? And then go at this until you've layered your pudding completely. You want to fill your tray. You don't have to. It's absolutely fine. I'm going to get this little piece that we had here. Soak this up, and then we'll pour a little bit more of that custard in there. All right, it's very messy, right?
But it's worth it.
But it's worth it, exactly. And what we're going to do just for the fun of it is I'm going to add nice little chunks of strawberries right on there. So just dip the strawberry in, like, don't be shy. And what that happens in the oven is the strawberries get, they hide, they're drained of their moisture. What do you know? They dehydrated, okay? They become dehydrated, alafu they usually have this nice texture. They become nice and chewy. I love that about strawberries when you put them into the oven. And this is going to be a nice touch to it as well as you bite into your dessert. All right, so that looks absolutely beautiful. Chef, how are we doing there?
Almost done.
Almost done. All right, perfect. Let me just chop up some strawberries for you. Oh, you got one? All right.
And then raka.
Pop that right on your strawberries. I'm going to cover this up. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to chop this up because we're just trying to line our tray. Remember, guys, dip for about, just hold it for about like 2 to 3 seconds. Dip and hold because you want that bread to soak. Now, the reason I said if your bread is dry, it's better. Ita soak, yani yo custard yote. So if you want to leave your bread out of the cover, I mean, just out in the open to dry out a little bit, that would be absolutely perfect. All right, so I'm going to just finish this off. Place the rest of the bread. Thank you so much, chef. And we have our oven on. So that's brilliant. Thank you, chef. Or you want to clean that out? I've messed your station. Sorry, not sorry. All right, guys. Now you want to come and finish off. You see, we still have some custard in here. So you want to just finish this off and just drizzle, just in case there's some bread that hasn't soaked in that goodness. Drizzle that on top, and then I'll show you what we'll do. And you can go ahead and even fill the tray completely with these chunks of bread so that it cooks perfectly. That looks good. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be so delicious. I can't wait to have this. So fill those in completely. Don't worry about how it looks. It's going to cook perfectly. I just want to stuff this in there. Stuff that in there. Make sure we have that perfect cover, and then come and finish it off with the drizzle of that custard right on top, just to make sure that it soaks completely.
Awesome.
Now into the oven, 180 degrees. Oh, we don't have oven trays. Okay.
For how long?
Just until it rises and it's become golden brown. So you want to put it in there for just about like 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. So you want to keep checking on it. Si kama keki, kwa hivyo, you don't have to wait for it to rise. It's for rise pia sawa, right? All right, so I'm going to put this in there. Wait for that to cook as you tell us what you're doing.
Okay.